Joining me now is Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary and Fox News contributor, and Texas Congressman Chip Roy. Ari, I'll start with you. Is this latest border stunt going to persuade voters that Biden is better on the border?
No, I think voters are used to this. As Election Day comes closer, the statistics, the things the government does and says, they all start to work out for the government, don't they?
Yeah.
And the public is way too sophisticated to accept that kind of thing. You know, and when it comes to Secretary Mayorkas, this is the man who said that the border was secure. This is the man who said that the border was closed. So when he says these things, he's just doing nothing but a role of Baghdad Bob as a secretary. And that is not what the American people want for a position as important as the Secretary of Homeland Security, where our lives and our national security depend on good decisions.
And, you know, Chip, I'll go to you. The Biden campaign's spin on crime and the border is getting ludicrous. Take a listen.
Crime is down under Joe Biden's presidency. Donald Trump doesn't care about crime. He doesn't care about border security. I think that's evident by the fact that he's the one who blew up the border security deal when we had a bipartisan deal in the Senate. With the president, you have somebody who's actually trying to bring people together relentlessly to fix our problems. That's true of border security. That's true of every challenge that the American people face.
Congressman, if Biden is relentlessly fixing our problems, why aren't the voters buying it?
Well, they're not buying it because the American people can actually look at the news and see what's happening. They can look at what happened to Laken Riley. They can see what happened to Lizbeth Medina in Texas. They can see what happened to the people that you and Stephen Miller were just talking about. But also, you know, we had Rachel Marin in Maryland. Kayla Hamilton was killed, raped, and murdered 2 years ago in the same county in Maryland. The American people are sick of it. And you notice that it with the Nungares from Houston. You notice that they're, you know, looking at this and saying, what's happening to our communities? We need to actually be able to be safe again. And the American people are seeing this, and it's a direct consequence. Now, let's remember that the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, he is the first cabinet secretary to be impeached in what, 100 and something years? This is an enormous failure, but it's purposeful. The administration is doing this to flood the American people, and they're endangering people. And Stephen said it right. These little girls, these Americans that are getting killed, what about the little girls and these migrants getting sold into the sex trafficking trade? What about the 53 who got cooked in a tractor trailer in San Antonio?
Right.
This is the most cynical, disgusting display I've seen from a political party in my lifetime. And it is radical progressive Democrats that the American people are looking at, and Biden is the top of that food chain.
Ari, I want to get your reaction to this judge in Harris County, Texas, Lena Hidalgo, who blamed Republicans for politicizing Jocelyn Nungary's murder. Take a listen.
They're being used as pawns in this fight over immigration that doesn't even exist because Biden and McConnell agree. It's just that Trump won't let him move it forward.
All due respect, Judge, you said this issue shouldn't be politicized. Are you politicizing this by pointing the finger at Republicans and saying it's their fault, not the fault of the Biden administration that lifted the Remain in Mexico policies?
Again, the Biden administration reached an agreement with Leader McConnell to address this, but this is not about immigration. I'm not going to feed into that.
Oh, Ari, not about immigration. It was illegal aliens who committed these crimes.
You know, Judge, if anybody has ever lost a family member, the last thing they want is for that family member not to be talked about, not to be remembered. They actually want people to speak out in honor, in memory of that dearly departed, someone who was a part of a family. So for the judge to say that, how can a judge inject politics like that? I guess in Texas it's an elected judge and they can be partisan as they want, but that still doesn't make what she said right. And as for the deal, she said the McConnell-Biden deal, you know what is wrong about that is that was the most loophole-laden, exemption-filled, allow 5,000 people to come every day illegally before anything is even allegedly done, and it doesn't count the children who come across the border. That was not a good deal. That was a wrong deal.
Well, Ari and Congressman, I want to thank you both. There's no question we've got a problem.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.